Hello, welcome back to youtube.com/snapbolt and Twitch TV/snapbolt games. My name is Max, and I'm going to be playing some Legacy today. And I got an old brew for you. This is blue-black control. And let me just accept this match, and I'll go over the deck real quick. And I'll talk more about the deck in between rounds, but I'll just go over basically what this deck is trying to do, if I can get back to the screen. So, yeah, just blue and black cards. We have a lot of basic lands. I played this deck back in the day just because Wasteland was a pretty big problem, and playing a lot of basics was nice, just because you can fetch out your basics and play around Wasteland in a lot of situations. That's kind of where the idea of the deck came from, and it was around the time Search for Azcanta came out. This card may just be trash now, but it was pretty good back when I was playing this deck. I actually did pretty well with this deck back when I was playing it a lot. This list does look a little bit different, but again, I'll just go over the deck real quick. Just classic, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Ponder, 4 Force of Will, just kind of like as a base of the deck. And then our creature interaction, we're playing 3 Fatal Push, and technically 2 Drown in the Loch, and 1 Eliminate, which is one of the new cards. A couple more Eliminates in the sideboard, just for pesky OKOS or Teferis. And then we also have interaction in the form of 2 Thoughtseize, 3 Hymn to Torach. Excuse me. When I first built the deck, I actually just built it as 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Hymn, 4 Counterspell, because that's kind of where I wanted to start, but that was just a little bit too clunky, and kind of moved away from that. Snapcaster Mage is like basically our value engine. It's a little bit clunky, but that's kind of like how we gain card advantage in this deck, other than Jace. But Baleful Strix is a nice little piece of card advantage. This deck is kind of clunky, but again, it can grind pretty well. Another interesting innovation is Creeping Tar Pit, which actually in the past performed way better than you would think. Like, the only way to really win with this deck is either Jace or attack you with Baleful Strix, Snap, and Creeping Tar Pit. And now we have 1 Shark Typhoon. But that's pretty much the deck. In the sideboard, just cards you would expect: Flusterstorm, Hydroblast, a Narset, a second Typhoon for fair matchups. Kalitas, this is a sweet one actually, really good against burn, and just like sometimes against kind of like mid-rangey decks, like they're not going to really have removal for it. You just bring this in and you can just get them. A Damnation, which I'm trying out, might be too much mana, might just be too slow, but 1 Damnation, 1 Deluge, a couple of extra Eliminates, and then some Graveyard Hate, a 3rd Cling to Dust, and 2 Surgical. I want the 2 Cling to Dust main to kind of deal with like the Uro metagame and just whatever else we might face. But that's pretty much the deck in a nutshell. Let's see how we do. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Let's hope we're against some type of graveyard deck. And I use some of my clock, which isn't great with this deck, but we should be okay. I'll just try to play quick. Okay, we're against Island Astrolabe. Interesting. Probably just going to Ponder. I can wait on this Cling to Dust. They're likely to be an Uro deck. So I can Brainstorm and then fetch land. Seems pretty decent. I could also just shuffle these, but I think these are good enough. Brainstorm seems really good. It's also something I can pitch to force if I need to, but I'm feeling like I'm not going to need to force a will anything here. Sylvan Library would be pretty annoying. Looks like we're up against some type of just like snow control deck. They Ponder, not shuffle, and pass. We're drawing Fatal Push. I could Brainstorm, but I think I'm just going to Baleful Strix, draw the land. Just get a creature on the board, draw a card. Seems good. Fatal Push can answer Earl later, which is nice. Just expecting them to have like OKOS, UROS, Force of Will, Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, these type of cards in their deck. See if they just cast Uro here. They do. Okay. Well, I'm just going to cling that. No reason to force a bullet. Sucks that we don't draw a card from Kling, but I think getting the Uro out of there is a pretty big game. I think I'll just start by just... I guess I could play my Polluted Delta first because I am going to plan on brainstorming. I think I'm just going to get their Uro right now. It sucks, like, yeah, this isn't card advantage. It's like card disadvantage, but getting the Uro is nice. We can always just escape these later too. Alright, I'm going to attack. I suppose I want to brainstorm right now too, in case I draw Thoughtseize or Ponder. I might just want to shuffle this push away also. Tarpit was definitely a reason to not play a land, but I think this is fine. I think put push back. Could even put basic island or Tarpit back. Could also put Cling to Dust back. This is like why this deck can be tough to play. Like having the Snapcaster for Snapcaster Ponder seems totally reasonable. Thing is, next turn I do want to go Jace. What I could do is I could put Fatal Push and then Tarpit back, and I can just not shuffle right now. But I guess I am going to want to cast Cling to Dust. Another interesting option is even to put Forcible back, because maybe I just don't want to force, and I just don't want to like be discarding a card. I don't want to fight on that axis. It's a little bit greedy, but I think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm worried about them like combo killing me or anything, so I just need to play for the long game. I don't necessarily want to be discarding right now to Force of Will. Oko. Okay. Oko is good. Are they just going to make a food? They're just going to make a 3/3. Okay, I'm probably just going to tap out for Jace. I'm feeling like I should cast this Cling. Just going to get Polluted Delta, I suppose. Maybe like basic is better, but I'm not too worried. Just get their Ponder. Second Cling to Dust. Draw, we draw another land. Okay, it's fine. Another land. See if we can resolve this. Trying to wait on this Typhoon as well. I'm going to plan on just also not attacking with Baleful Strix for a blocker for Astrolabe. Oh, they have a Force. It's one reason why I wanted to keep Force. They pitch Coddle. Okay. Oko's pretty good. When I was building this deck, I was like, do I need to like play green also to play Oko? But I wanted to try without. Okay. Fatal Push. They're down to 3 cards. But they do have an Oko. So I can Snapcaster Brainstorm, because I can put some lands back then. But then I'm not going to be able to get Tarpit back and Tarpit down this turn. What I can do is I can just play Tarpit and then plan on Snapcaster Brainstorming anyway. I mean, I guess I can just Snapcaster Ponder. I don't think I need to Cling to Dust anything right now. I'll just Snapcaster Ponder. Because I do want to play Tarpit. Start getting a little bit more of a board presence. Oko is just so good. Maybe we can find Eliminate. Him to Torach. Okay, new plan. I think the new plan is him to Torach. Then I'll draw Brainstorm second. Then him, you. Again, we're going to have to beat this Oko at some point, but Abrupt Decay, Force of Will. Okay. I'm going to be able to play Tarpit at some point. I'm also going to be able to make a 4/4 Shark Typhoon next turn if I want. getting hit for 6 down to 10. Opponent with 2 cards left. Not gonna block. Alright, now I'm gonna try to make a 4/4 shark and block one of these food. Hopefully they don't have another fatal push or something. If they do, maybe they use it on this snap. What could be in their hand? Another Oko. Not really sure what else. Coddle. That is so annoying for us. Because that deals with the shark pretty well. Can still probably eat a 3/3. But certainly not ideal. Well, I guess they're attacking, so that's good for us. Make a 4/4 shark. What format is this? Brainstorm. Interesting. This can't be countered, but it can be fatal pushed. Definitely bringing the second Typhoon in this matchup. Drown in the Loch. Okay, Abrupt Decay. Yeah, we're just dead to Oko. Can start killing their creatures. But then they just make another 3/3 next turn. Yeah, it's just over. Oko just like totally ran away with the game. I could have kept Force of Will in hand. So that might have just been a mistake. Start with Brainstorm. There's Eliminate, but I guess it's not necessarily too late. If I eliminate the Oko, drown on the Loch, a 3/3, and then chump another 3/3, I can like survive. It's not pretty. Oh, but the problem, yeah, I have to fetch also, so it's certainly not looking good. But I also kind of have to play Tar Pit in order to have a blocker for one of their other 3/3s. Right, let's start with Eliminate Oko, because that's just going to make another 3/3 anyway. I think I will be bringing in like another Eliminator to Force of Negation. Alright. They just got us with the Force of Wills. We just drew a few too many lands there. And Oko is basically what I just did not want to see. I think I want these. I mean, they kill Oko. Don't know like how critical that is. I think Cling to Dust is also fine. Just because it can just draw a card, or it can get their Uro. So I guess this is also really good against Uro. I honestly didn't even think of that. Don't want to surgical their Uro. This is more for like dedicated graveyard stuff. I think Fatal Push may just be worse than Eliminate, because Eliminate can kill like any Elks and it can kill Okos. Might want some just to deal with their like pesky flyers. Thoughtseize is also not bad. Spell Snare. Man, I'm just really not sure what to board out. I mean, I can just board out Force of Will. Kind of like that. You can just like board like this. And just try to play the same game. That game felt kind of bad, but I think this matchup's not terrible. So I'm bringing in 2 more removal spells, just taking out a bunch of forces. I've boarded like this in the past quite often, and sometimes you get got by them keeping in Force of Will, and then it kind of plays out similar to how that first game played out, where they're able to like Force of Will, go down to 0 cards and then kill you. But often, if you don't have Force of Will in your deck, you can just outgrind them. Alright, well I'm keeping this. Just a slow controlling hand, sure. Just lead fetch land. Pass. Plan on just going for the turn 2 him. No Astrolabe. Could have fetched before drawing, but chose not to. I think I'll just get non-basic, because I don't want to get another swamp. Just plan on going him and then him again. Okay, there's an Uro. So they can go up to 4 cards in graveyard. They do have Scavenging Ooze. That's interesting. They just let him resolve as well. Ooh, Cling to Dust. It's actually a nice one. I think I'm just gonna go land him to Torach you. Land. So they did keep Enforceable, which is interesting. So if they go fetch, they go up to 6 cards, but they'll only be on 3 mana. So I don't think there's a rush to Cling to Dust here. Also, Cling to Dust just as like a very slow draw engine is pretty nice. Are they just going to play Coddle? No, they just don't do anything. So we've played 2 for 1 so far. So let's see if we can win the grindy game. If they play Oko, it is kind of annoying. I guess I can just eliminate it. Uro. And a second Uro. Okay, let's see if they have 4th land and if it's a blue source. Looks like they don't have another land. That's good for me. I mean, there's no reason to Cling to Dust in Uro right now, because I can just try to counterspell the other one that they play. Maybe I do Cling to Dust 1, and then if they draw a blue source and they try to escape Uro, then I can counter it. But then they just still have Uro in the yard. Thinking that drawing a card might be more important in this situation. So I'm going to do it. Oh, I just misclicked it. I meant to do Force of Will and then I hit Scavenging Ooze. That was pretty much the worst card I could have hit because I didn't hit an Uro. Wow, that was just pretty bad. That's okay. Try to come back. Baleful Strix was certainly a good draw. Pretty embarrassing there, but you can't focus too much on your misclicks like that. I obviously was not trying to exile Scavenging Ooze, just wasn't being careful enough. Still in a pretty reasonable position here. Also, if they have something like Uro with Force of Will, I can try to counterspell and then eliminate the Uro. They're going to go for Oko. Okay, they're on. Now they have double blue. Okay. Ponders, great draw. Another Cling to Dust and a Shark Typhoon. So if I had either hit Uro or any other spell, this Cling to Dust would be better. Oh man, if I just hit the first Uro with the first Cling to Dust, I'd be in such a better position now. I don't really want to Typhoon like for 2. I feel like these have got to be good enough though. Just draw the Cling. Land. Attack. So I know I have a Typhoon on top. I kind of want to save the Typhoon for next turn to at least make a 3/3 Shark. Start putting a little bit more pressure. I also can flashback a Cling to Dust here, which is think I'll just pass the turn with Counterspell and eliminate it. Brainstorm, that's fine. If they just go for Uro and I get to Counterspell it, so it's like very good for me because then I get to Counterspell it and then Cling to Dust. And then they're just like pretty much out of gas. Fatal Push? I'll definitely let that resolve. Oh, Cling to Dust, my Cling to Dust? Oh, this is interesting. The problem is, God, if I just hit that Uro, this is like a completely different game. Because then I would have just flashback Cling to Dust, hit the other one. But if I flashback this Cling to Dust, then they don't get to draw a card off their Cling to Dust. So funny. So if I hit one of the Uros, then they're gonna definitely escape the other Uro next turn, and I don't get to counter it. So they'll get to draw a card off that Uro. They have to tap out for that. Then I can just even eliminate plus Cling to Dust, and they don't draw a card off this Cling. So I think I'm gonna actually just go for this and not misclick this time. Hit Uro. And just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because now their Cling to Dust just fizzles, they don't draw a card. And they can untap and escape Uro, which again, they shouldn't be able to do, jeez. But then I can just eliminate it and cling the Uro. Yep. So they go Uro, they draw. And I can even just cling their cling if I want. But it'd be nice just to get the Uro out of here entirely. There's the Typhoon. We'll just wait on that. Veil of Summer, Jesus. Just counter this. And then I'm just gonna have to cling their Uro. And then hope they don't just play Oko next turn. Veil of Summer is obviously just insane against us. I was like, don't do it, don't play Uro. We need 2 more cards in the yard to escape Cling. Third Uro. That card's really good for a reason. Let's see if we can battle through it. Ponder? Yeah. I mean, that misclick probably just costing me the game, honestly. It, again, would have been so different. Like, they wouldn't have been able to cling our cling, and we could have just, like, gotten their second Uro with it. So it's just totally different. If they have one more card that can go to the graveyard, they can just play Uro again. And I can't flash black cling, so yeah, I might just be losing here. Do get to play a big shark, but I don't know if that's going to do it. Scavenging Ooze. Alright, it's annoying for sure. Alright, get to NATO. Make a 4/4. Do I trade it for Coddle? Probably not. They have 3 activations of Ooze up. Just get my clings out of there. Looking pretty bad. Their build is pretty smart because they have Scavenging Ooze to like fight the Uro mirrors, kind of. Ooh, Jace was a great draw. Alright, I'll just start with Jace. Force of Negation, pitch Brainstorm. Alright, it's not ideal. Just gonna pass, I think. So they're gonna get to play Uro. Eat my graveyard. Scavenging Ooze is also just like incredibly good against us. If I knew they had that, I would have left in more pushes. Yeah, so this is Uro. Pretty egregious card in every format. Astrolabe. Search for Azcanta. Pretty funny. Alright. Suppose I just start getting in. If they have an answer to this Baleful Strix, it's going to be pretty bad if they get to start attacking with Uro. That just races Tar Pit on its own. So from here, oh, what is this? Oh, just Scavenging Ooze? Sure. So this is just going to be like a Surveil every upkeep because of Ooze. At least Ooze isn't really like a big creature threat. No Abrupt Decay. Yeah, that's just going to do it. Like one attack with Uro is just like, I feel like enough to seal the deal. I think I just need to block. It's just 1 damage, but I don't think like a 4/4 attacking is really going to do much at this point. I don't think that's what the game's going to come down to. Opponent with 3 cards in hand now after playing a bunch of Uros. It's almost better just to like scoop at this point and move on after that misclick. Guess I'll draw Brainstorm, cast it. Yeah, the main problem is this Uro just gonna keep coming back, but I can kill it right now. And then also have a Baleful Strix in play. Let's see. I guess I can't do everything because I have to put 2. Oh no, I can put 2 cards back. Oh yeah, then I can only draw 1 of them. And I can't Fatal Push if a permanent hasn't left the battlefield. But what I can do is just go like this, play this. Force of Will. Alright, well, we kind of just got like crushed here. I'm just going to concede. We just have Fatal Push on top and then a land, so I don't think there's anything we can do. They're going to draw an extra card with Uro. They're also going to have a 4/4 Ooze. I think with that, without that misclick, we honestly win that game. I don't know how good that matchup actually is for us. We do have a lot of value, but they also have a ton of value in Uro. So that makes it pretty rough. Let's crack this beer, shall we? Oh, 1, that's okay. So yeah, Shark Typhoon is a new addition. Another Jace would be nice if I could fit it in. This is a really good Jace the Mind Sculptor deck, if there is anything. I'm not sure about Drown in the Loch yet. It's been okay. I just played 1 match before this league and got paired against like Mono Red Blood Moon. That's actually a really good matchup for this deck because a lot of the cards from the opponent playing the Blood Moon deck you just don't care about. I'll keep this hand. Ooh, Underground Sea Ponder. Are we against Storm or are we against Control again? We're against Otaba or Otaba. Probably just gonna fetch Island Ponder. No, I'm just gonna Island Ponder. Ooh, That was the reason to not Island Ponder, but I still think it was right in this situation. It wasn't really a rush to have to him. I'm going to definitely draw these against Underground Sea. So suppose I'll just draw a Ponder this turn. And then next turn I can plan on like playing another Ponder, and if they're Delver I can maybe Fatal Push something. Looks like they might be Control. Prismatic Vista kind of tells me that. It's not the best use of Ponder if I cast it here, but I think I want to. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Okay, I can get rid of this Flooded Strand. I don't think I'm going to need that. So I can go draw Thoughtseize, Swamp, Thoughtseize you. Is this going to get countered, or are they going to play Ice Fang Coddle? Yeah. Oh, this is a Uro combo. Interesting. And they have Uro as well. Alright, this is interesting. Do I take the Uro? It's 4 mana, but they're going to coddle this turn. I do have a Hymn to Torach, which I can fire off next turn. And I'm drawing another Hymn to Torach. What if I take Uro? That's kind of interesting. Kind of just puts it into their graveyard for free, though. I think I just take Uro. I think that's just the safe play. Then that's their hand. They coddle, that just doesn't matter. They'll probably just untap an Uro. I think just getting the Uro out of there is the safest play. I'm not going to Force of Will this Uro. I'm just going to let it happen. Can Force of Will the escape if anything. They put a Forest into play. They used a Vista. So next turn, they're likely able to go... Did I X the wrong card? I'm not sure. Not playing super tight, but that's okay. Another Hymn. There is a Flooded Strand on top, and I actually do kind of want that. I could go Brainstorm right now. I think I'm going to. Another Force of Will. Maybe I just don't have the luxury to keep lands, and I have to just draw them naturally. So if I put back land, and then went fetch him, I'd be on 3 lands. And then I can pitch force if I need to. Yeah. It's either that or put back another Hymn to Torach, but I don't really want to do that either. Just get Underground Sea and him. Fatal Push Baleful Strix. So we know their hand is Ponder blank. We have Force of Will for this escape on the Uro. Probably just pitch force here. Or force pitch Brainstorm. And keep the other force. I think I keep the Brainstorm. Because I'm just gonna play another hymn. Those Uros in Legacy get active real quick. Search for Azcanta. Just Brainstorm to start again. Okay. Guess I can ignore this Fatal Push for now. It's kind of greedy. Could also just get rid of this Force of Will. Because one option is to put back Search and Force and then fetch, but Search actually seems pretty good. If I put back Fatal Push Force, and then I get to go fetch land, ponder, him to Torach, and still have search in my hand. Yeah, I like this. I guess I'll ponder now. Yeah, again, not really worried about Wasteland. I feel like these are not good enough. Creeping Tar Pit's interesting. Another thing to consider is that if my third card, I'll most likely be able to Surveil away. So if I just want to draw Fatal Push Creeping Tar Pit, that's an option. Still think I can just do better with random cards. Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Just go him. Abrupt Decay Ponder. So this is like a kind of mid-rangey version of Allurin. It's probably like a combination between Bug and Allurin combo. So we have a Snapcaster. I can Snapcaster him. Alright, so they're going to be able to return Icefang Coddle, but they can't play it right now. You can still get value. Gilded Goose, wow. Okay, so their last card's Icefang in hand. We draw land. So I can Snapcaster him, get their Icefang Coddle. I don't think I want to do that, because also if I just Snapcaster Ponder, I can still play Search for Azcanta. I guess I want to fetch first before pondering, most likely. Because I do want to play Search for Azcanta this turn. I think this is a good way to eventually get ahead. Alright, I'm going to fetch. I suppose at this point I can just get Island. I'm going to Snap Ponder. Don't know if this is greedy. Jace the Mind Sculptor and 2 fetch lands. I just have to keep this. Definitely have to keep it. I'll just draw the Jace. Play Search. I'm going to get to bottom one of the lands, but then I'm going to have to draw the other one. And pass. What I'm really looking for is a Cling to Dust just to get rid of that Uro. Then the opponent's like basically out of gas at that point. Then I can try to take over the game with my Jace. They have just a value engine of this plus Coddle going. Okay, there's a Lurin, so they just draw infinite, right? So they just drew into the combo. Got us. I mean, I think this will just most likely just be too much value. Let's just see what else the opponent has in their deck. Another Goose. So they can essentially just like draw 20 here. They don't have any mana this turn, but I just assume that there's no possible way for us to beat draw 20. Just seeing what else they have. I think I did get rid of a Fatal Push at some point, which would have been able to break up the combo. So that was probably a little bit greedy. I assume opponent also has Oko in their deck, but maybe not if they're Allurin. Opponent does have to combo pretty fast. I mean, I'm also behind on time, so this is just buying me a minute or two. Brainstorm. No real need to brainstorm. I guess maybe it just goes faster than just drawing a bunch of cards. Wow, that's pretty sick. Just get to play Uro from hand for free. Play another land. Oh, they get to just now Uro. So now they literally get to draw their deck. See if they have a way to win right now, or if they just make a big battlefield and pass the turn. Because now this is literally infinite because they gain life on every Uro. They're just brainstorming. They also get to keep playing lands, this is pretty sick. Opponent just going off here. They're also playing pretty fast. Baleful Strix. I wonder if they're on 4 Strix, 4 Coddle. They certainly might be. Full Dash Stronghold, okay. I don't even think I want Toxic Deluge and Damnation in this matchup. Cling to Dust does seem pretty good. I don't think I want to Surgical the Alluring because they can just like get a bunch of value just by playing like these 2 creatures. I'm also not sure about the Cling to Dusts yet. I think they're fine, but I just don't really know yet. Leovold. Maybe they're just coddling now over Uro because it's faster. Looks to be the case. They're at 16 cards in library. Maybe they're just trying to get to the point where they can escape an Uro, and that's like their way to win. But maybe they have the Parasitic Strix combo in the list somewhere to win with. If they just show it, I'll just concede. Abrupt Decay, and now pass the turn. Okay. They discard a card, and I'll concede now. Okay. So it looks like most likely they don't have a way to just automatically like it looks like they don't have like a win con in the deck. Shark Typhoon actually seems pretty terrible. You can just trade for like a 1/1 Death Touch, but I don't think that's very good. Narset's good, but it's kind of hard to protect. I feel like most of the sideboard's not great actually. I guess Deluge and Damnation just might be good enough just to get like a 2-for-1. The problem is like their Harpy can just bounce to its hand. But if they don't have specifically that, or I counter it, then I can deal with it. I feel like I want Eliminates as well. Kind of need Force in this matchup. Let's just board. Don't even... Thoughtseize is kind of good at breaking up the combo as well. Spell Snare seems great. Maybe these, like, even though they have a bunch of creatures, maybe these just aren't good. I feel like it has to be. Board these out. They just have so much value. These Force of Will seem kind of suspect, but I think I might need to keep them in. Him is also just, like, not that great in this matchup because they, like, have so many things kind of like us that are, like, just Baleful Strix that just, like, provide a little advantage and draw a card. Can go down 1 land. Can also just not bring in Damnation and just bring in Deluge. Drown in the Loch is also like meh, especially against Uro. Maybe this card's just not good now. I think it's good enough because it's a counterspell and can kill a creature. So like even if like they're able to like get like a harpy down or something, or maybe not harpy, but just something else that I'm able to just kill, it's just kind of nice to have. All right, keep the sand. Tarpit seems awkward, but sometimes you just gotta roll with what you got. I might even just wait on Thoughtseize and just play a Baleful Strix next turn. Ponder. Having Force of Will is not great, but being able to stop the Alluring is huge. Relic. Okay. Can't say I was expecting Relic, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to get Baleful Strix down. Next turn I can play another Strix and play a Thoughtseize. Or leave up Drown in the Loch. Okay, it's actually not bad. We do have to deal with what the opponent's doing. Okay, Carpet of Flowers. The good news is we only have one island. This card's pretty insane though. Black mana. So it's just going to be Baleful Strix. Yep. You got it. Kind of tempted to just play Baleful Strix Tarpit next turn. Yeah, especially now that I drew Jace. Alright, I'm going to attack, offer the trade. I assume opponent's not going to take the trade. But they are. Interesting. Alright, now I'll play another Strix and another Tarpit. Alright, you got it. Yeah, the thing is, maybe like Cling to Dust just isn't that great. Can be good in certain situations, but like a lot of times when you want to exile a creature, whether it's against Reanimator or exiling Uro, it's just like, then you don't get to draw a card. I guess also being life gain against anywhere where that matters is certainly relevant. Oko is one I definitely would have wanted a Thoughtseize. So that sucks. Cling to Dust. The aforementioned Cling to Dust. Now I can start with Brainstorm, try to find Eliminate. They have 4 cards in hand. They have a Relic in play. I can also just play Jace. And it's relatively safe on this board, because even if they make this a 3-3, I have a Baleful Strix. Alright. It's a little greedy to not like Brainstorm and Thoughtseize, but right, they have Force. They did have to pitch a Coddle though. I think I just don't attack. That way if they want to make this a creature, I can just block it. Got a lot of good cards left in hand. Green, Uro. Alright, well I can cling that. This deck is just like dying for its own Okos and Uros. Maybe just Bug is just like straight, just so much better. You also just get access to Assassin Trophy and Abrupt Decay and Veil of Summer. I mean, all these cards are just like insanely good that I'm mentioning. Alright, I'll block. I do need to Cling to Dust this turn. Can start with Ponder. I don't think I want these. Draw Force of Will anyway. I'll Thoughtseize them. Another Uro would be bad news. They choose to not force. think I just take Cavern Harpy. Then I go Wind. Cling your Uro, not misclick. And then I can just leave up Drown in the Loch to counter something. Oh, they're using their Force of Will to go down to 0 cards. So I have 2 options. I mean, oh no, I can just Drown in the Loch this. So I have 3 options. I can Force of Will their Force, but I might as well just Drown, right? Because yeah, then the Uro gets exiled. Yeah, this is good. I have these tar pits to start pressuring the Oko if nothing else. Don't know if that's enough though. And this can go up by like, 3 every other turn. Oh, they're exile. I was like, they can't exile a card from their own yard. Drown would still counter this, but they're making us exile. Right, let's get rid of Baleful Strix. Drown happens while they can't relic. Oko gets Uro gets exiled, and now we just need to find Eliminate for Oko, and then we'd be in a reasonable position. I guess they couldn't have activated Relic anyway because then they would just exile their own Uro. So they get to add a bunch of mana with Carpet. Why'd they add green? And I don't think I want to force this Ice Fang. You Witness. Alright, I can't let that happen. Then they just get back Cavern Harpy. I think that's just too good. They can crack Relic if they want. They make a food. Land is obviously terrible. Just exile 5 cards, yeah. So I can't even quite cast a Cling to Dust yet. No sense in attacking the opponent. These matchups actually aren't really where we want to be. I think this deck is better against like just linear decks, whether it's like a combo deck or like the mono red prison deck or burn or elves, just like that sort of thing. When you're just like another kind of value-y, control-y deck, it's like seems the worst for us. Wow. Yeah, this matchup seems terrible for us. They can just keep drawing with these 2 now. Alright, drawing another land was terrible. I can't activate both these tar pits as well. One mana off. I think I will just play this Delta. It's kind of bad if I draw Brainstorm. But if I draw another land, I can double activate tar pit. And then if I maybe am able to take out Oko, I'll be able to claw back into my game if I draw like a Wrath or something. The 1 Wrath we brought in. Oko makes a food. We exile whatever. They're really just keeping that relic around. Oko like just surprisingly just kills so fast. And they get to draw a couple extra cards. That's just gonna do it. Not where I wanted to be in this league, obviously, but that's okay. Let's see what we draw. Okay, there's Eliminate, just a little bit too late. Because, like, now if I eliminate Oko, they just have 3 cards in hand. I mean, I guess I just keep playing. I could concede, but I think I can also just try to block a food token with Tar Pit. Their deck is just so much value, like they're likely just going to play another Oko here or an Uro. Alright, they attack. I think I have to try to trade for this food. Sure. Oh. Gotta get a land here. Get another underground. Activate Tar Pit. I guess I didn't even need to fetch there. That was wrong. For some reason, I was thinking I needed to. I even had a Consecrated Sphinx in the side of this deck for a while for the grindy matchups. Because you could actually cast it a lot, and it won me a lot of games. Oh, that was kind of wrong. I just gave them 1,000,000 mana with 4 cards in hand. They don't seem to be adding the right. They can add any color, right? Of any one color. Okay, I see. They're really not drawing lands, though. Okay. Search. Sure. Not 5, so I'm not dead on board yet. They have Relic. They're at 14. We're going down to 2. We need to draw some type of answer. And that's game. They can just make this into a food and attack. Alright. 0-2, 0-2 to start. See if we can turn it around. I want to play in the manatraders Legacy tournament this month. Starts in 2 days, I believe, for the Swiss. And I'm thinking about just playing Rug Delver just because that deck is just so good right now. You just get to play Delver, Oko, Bolts, you know, the classic. Wasteland. I think that may just be the best deck. I mean, I can also consider, I don't know if I'm able to get all the cards, but I would like to just play like an Uro pile, basically. Something similar to this list, but Astrolabes, kind of like what we've been playing against. Honestly, tonight, I'm just trying to try this old brew out. Because I want to play in the manatraders Legacy event, I want to just like play some Legacy, just get a feel for what other people are playing a little bit. Like, you know, just play a little bit of the format before I like start playing my manatraders matches. We're against Numena Llewellyn. I'm going to keep this hand. Not exciting. I think we're up against Uro again. It's funny, I posted like this deck on my Twitter and my Instagram actually, and I was like, let's see if we can fight through the Uros and Okos. And we've been against Uro, Oko for 2 out of 2 matches, and now we're against Tropical Island Ponder, so we're likely against Uro/Oko again. Wonder if this is Infect or something else. Could be Delver. I think I just want to lead Fetch Go to play around Wasteland. Could have even led Delta so I don't have to get a non-basic. Oh, Hex Drinker? Okay. Well, I'm going to try to Fatal Push that. I'll probably just go level here. This looks like Rug Delver to me. Oh, Delver. I mean, getting a non-basic here is pretty bad. However, I need to Fatal Push this turn. So we'll see if this costs me. I am going to do it. And I think I'm just going to Fatal Push the Hex Drinker, because that can get out of hand, whereas Delver can only hit for a maximum of 3, and I have Baleful Strix to deal with that. Him to Torach. Alright, I think I'm going Him to Torach right now. They could have Daze, but they could have Daze for Baleful Strix anyway. Oh, Oko, Flooded Strand. Okay, that's a good one. So we have been against at least Oko / Uro for 3 out of 3. But Ponder, okay. But this deck most likely does not have Uro in it. This just looks like Rug Delver. I think this is actually a pretty good matchup for us as well. But it's certainly can go either way. Like in the past, it was very close, and it often came down to like a lot of tight play. Like a lot of times you did have to play around stuff with Baleful Strix, like play around Delver. Baleful Strix is a very key card in this matchup. I think I actually want to force this Delver. It seems weird, but I just want to slow the game down, and I don't think Spell Snare is going to be that great. I think I'm going to go Island. Oh, drawing a land. No, why? I'm going to play a land first. Could draw a Tar Pit, but this way, I mean, they've shown they don't have Daze, but I'm still going to do it. So my Baleful Strix going to get bolted. Ponder. Hopefully they just offer the trade Insectile Aberration for Baleful Strix. Then I can slam Jace. I mean, I'm probably slamming Jace no matter what. Hex Drinker is one I don't typically see anymore, so that's interesting. They choose to not shuffle, and then they play a land, and then they bolt that. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to go Jace bounce Delver, because that protects my Jace for like an extra turn. I'm just gonna go Swamp Jace. I'm at 12, opponent at 19 with 1 card in hand. Ooh, Drown in the Loch. Do I try to Drown in the Loch before Jacing? I feel like yes. Now do I play it on upkeep or right now? I think most of their interaction is going to be like either Force of Will or cost 1 mana, not 2 mana. I don't really see them having 2 mana interaction, so I'd rather Drown in the Loch on their upkeep. The way they've been playing it kind of shown they don't really have interaction anyway. I'm still just going to take this line. Then next turn I can try to play Jace. Maybe even plus it to play around another bolt. Alright, it's good. Opponent just passes with 2 cards in hand. Counterspell. It's good, but I am going to slam Jace. Play around Daze. They could have drawn. And I'm also going to play around Lightning Bolt. Oh, they're going to just hardcast Force Negation. That is not good if they do that. Brutal. That is not good. Should have played the Jace last turn and bounced. Ugh, this is scary. Shuffle. They choose to shuffle, they draw a card and play a land. Wow. And it's not even a fetch. Alright. Do they have Bolt? Daze. So they probably drew Daze the turn that we played Jace. Is that right? And they had Force Negation as their last card before that. Alright, well that's an easy counter. Now top decking 5 lands against 4. I think our deck just has so much more value in Snapcaster Mage, Jace, Baleful Strix, that sort of stuff. I'm going to keep that in case I draw Brainstorm or Jace. Obviously not a good draw though. Opponent passes. This is kind of where we want to be in these matchups though. There's Brainstorm. Glad I didn't play that land. Now I can put these 2 lands back. Shuffle, get an island, and play Baleful Strix. This is looking good. Wonder if the opponent has a bolt in hand. Ooh, Tarpit. Don't mind if I do. Feeling pretty decent here. Wonder if the opponent has Force of Will as their last card. They may not even attack with Creeping Tarpit, depending on what I draw, in order to leave up Force. Alright, now I'm going to because I can just deploy Search for Azcanta, hit for 4. And then I can start activating Search. Yeah, so this is more along the lines of the matchup we want to face. What is this? Oh, this has just got to be Force of Will. Duh. What I already called. Alright, opponent's still top decking though. And again, it would have been nice to leave up our Force, but I think that play was fine. We're hitting for 4 turn here. Ooh. Do I attack again with Tarpit? Hit them down to 9? And then if I draw a land, we're kind of just winning any race at that point. I'm going to go for it. It's tempting just to leave up Force, but kind of like this. And then even if they draw like a Wasteland, I have another Tarpit. Alright. They gotta deal with these Tarpits somehow. This is like another Tarpit. This is basically like what all these games that I used to play with the deck, they all used to be like this. Legacy was more like this in the past, but now with Uro and Oko, it is a little bit different. Bolt the Tarpit. Okay. So they get hit down to 8. The problem is they're still not dead if I draw a land, because I can only hit for 7 next turn. But they have to kill me. They had to use a bolt, and they have to deal with these Tarpits with removal spells, which is going to be tough. I don't think they're able to do that. Alright, well, might as well just attack for 7. Tarpit. Tarpit. And then this puts 3 lethal attackers for next turn. And they concede. The triple Tarpit got there. Alright. I think Eliminates is good. Kalidas is good. NATO I don't think is that good. I think that's a little bit slow. I'm also kind of fine to side out Force of Will in this matchup. Might just want like more removal. Even Flusterstorm might be better than Force of Will. But maybe I just... Another option is just to like keep in 1 NATO, then board out 4 Force, board in like 3 removal spells and a Kalidas. I don't hate that. I do want to board out Force, I think. I'm just deciding if I want like Flusterstorms or anything. It's not bad. I mean, Jace isn't great. If I have 4 mana, I can Typhoon trade for a Delver. Jace doesn't seem fantastic. It seems like kind of hard to resolve. Maybe Typhoon is good. Do I want Flusterstorm? They're gonna have a lot of spells, right? Also, I'm not expect. Maybe I just don't need Cling to Dust. Also, can I just do this? Let's try it. Flusterstorm might be good. I mean, if I counter anything with Flusterstorm, that's worth it. Ooh, also Spell Snare. Is that supposed to come out? Maybe just keep the Jason. Could also play the Narset. If I'm able to deal with their creatures and resolve a Narset, that's insanely good. They can't play Ponder's Preordain or Ponder's Brainstorms. I think Jace is enough better. Bouncing Hexdrinker, bouncing Delvers, that I'd rather have the Jace, even if it's a little bit more expensive. We haven't really been drawing Snapcaster that much, but I think Snapcaster is a really integral part of this deck, because it looks like we have like all 1 and 2 drops in the deck, but the curve is actually more like this. Like, well, I'm trying to put Snapcaster in the 3-drop slot, but got interrupted. But that's basically more what it's like. This hand. I do have a Brainstorm. I'm on the draw. However, they are a Wasteland deck. And I'm likely just going to have to get Underground Z with this. I think I can just mulligan. Alright, this is a lot better. Do I put back Thoughtseize? Could just put back Search for Azcanta. Could also put back Ponder. Let's just put back Search. I'd just rather draw Search a little bit later. Alright. Probably just have to lead Underground see Thoughtseize. I know it's bad against Wasteland, but I don't think there's anything I can really do with this draw. Just gonna have to find more lands eventually. I guess I just would not want to see multiple Wastelands. That'd be annoying. Is this gonna be like a Spell Pierce? Oh god, Cryptic. That's what we signed up for. Could have just played Ponder. It's another reason to have green mana in our deck. Is green just the best card in the best color in Magic now? Quite possibly. I think it might be. Oh, 2 start to this league, but that's quite alright. It's gonna happen. Another Thoughtseize. They are very likely to still have days in their deck. I can go Flooded Strand Thoughtseize to try to get an Oko. They might just have another Veil. I'm just gonna try to play Baleful Strix. If they just Oko, it's so bad though. Maybe I have to Thoughtseize. If I tap out for Strix and then they go Oko, I just lose. But if I get Veiled again, I also just kind of lose. Just Underground Sea Baleful. Days, yep. I mean, at least I know I'm not getting Oko'd. They have a Tropical Island in hand. It's just weird for them to have a Wooded Foothills up. Them not deploying like creature threats. Especially with Preordain, they might have like up to 10, 11 cantrips. May just want the Narset. Because if we ever get into top deck mode against the opponent, and we're able to just play Narset, it's so good. Alright, I'll start with Thoughtseize now, because if they try to counter it, I can Flusterstorm. Like a Veil here. Force Negation. God, if they have Veil, I just get like, blown out, but why would they just not cast Veil to start? I want to be able to take Oko. Daze the Thoughtseize. Okay. Looks like I'm safe for Oko for another turn. Could have led Ponder, but this showed me they do not have another Veil. God, that turn 1 Veil Cryptic Command was just so brutal. Alright, well that most likely we can kill. Snapcaster Mage is good as well. Our removal spells just like in general line up pretty decently against the opponent. The question is, am I going to get Oko'd here? I think the probability is fairly high the way they've been playing. I think given my hand, I don't know if these cards are good enough. Like I can't cast this Jace for a long time. Him, while it's decent, I don't know if it's going to be enough to win the game. I think I'd rather just like draw a mixture of lands and other spells. No Oko. Hopefully it's just another Dreadhorde Arcanist. Yep, that's good for me. Just don't care about that at all. Like I said, they've shown they don't have another Veil. Delver is totally fine. Just do not care about Delver at all. Could get greedy and Brainstorm before Fatal Pushing, but I don't think that's the play. I think I go Fatal Push, Dreadhorde Arcanist, then Brainstorm. Now I might get Brainstorm locked here, but I don't. Okay. That's good. Now I'll just put back him, Snapcaster Mage, play land, pass. Probably going to plan on drawing the Snapcaster Mage, and then shuffling away the him to Torach. They don't reveal, so it was either another creature or a land, or an Oko. If it was an Oko, we'll know. Hex Drinker, okay, that's probably what they just drew. Level. Sure. So I probably just go draw snap, and then I snap push the Hex Drinker. You can play around Daze again by playing Drown in the Loch here, but I don't think I want to do that. It looks like the opponent's F6'd. Snap Fatal Push. And then I have 2 more removal spells up for Delver and Snapcaster Mage and Drown in the Loch. Because I have another Snap Push and I have a Drown here. No Oko, please. Oh god. It's beatable with this hand, though. Especially because I can just kill this Delver. Opponent with 1 card in hand. Oh, they make their Delver a 3/3. That's probably the best thing that could have happened for me, because I have another removal spell for that. Anyway, oh, I'm taking 3 all day here. Not jumping. Want to attack Oko. So I'm going to go Snap Push on the Elk. Hymn to Torach's tempting. Seems like we drew like the cards that were on top. Fatal Push. We sided into Eliminates. We really haven't been drawing the Eliminates. Attack Oko. Then Oko can +2, make a food. Man, Oko is just so good. A 3-mana Planeswalker just dealing with like multiple Snapcaster Mages. That's insane. They should have probably made a food last turn. That would have been the more conservative line. Winter Orb, jeez. Delver. Okay. I mean, Winter Orb is good, but it might mess up the opponent as well. So what happens if I go Drown in the Loch, Delver, attack Oko with both snaps? Oko goes down to 1. Then if they make a 3/3, I can kill Oko, losing a snap. The other line is just attack Oko with both snaps, and then kill the elk, but I think that's worse. I think I just need to Drown in the Loch right now. Just get another underground. I think I'm just going to attack Oko. I do only get to untap 1 land, but so does the opponent. So it's likely they're not going to have a relevant play this turn, except for making an elk. They could make a food, but then I still get to kill Oko, so unless they drew Lightning Bolt. Oh. Pyroblast. Fatal Push off the top? They can make their Winter Orb into an elk as well. Okay, eliminate. I mean, I can deal with the Oko. They do get to plus it again, and if they make another 3/3, that's going to be bad for me. I have to hope they make a food here. Okay, that's good. We are kind of both locked under Winter Orb, which is definitely bad for me, and they have a 3/3 to my 2/1. Drawing the Pyroblast instead of like a land or something random there was horrible for me. Delver, it's also not good. Can still win this game though. Okay, go. I don't think I need to attack. Because if they draw a land, or just something that doesn't flipped over, I'd rather block. Oh god, Red Blast. Kill Snap, hit for 5. Jeez. They don't even have to kill Snap if they don't want to. They're just putting me basically dead here. Especially with Winter Orb in play. I mean, Oko is good. I think if it's one thing we've learned in this league, it's Oko is a good card. Alright, let's go game 3. We're on the play here. You can see how this matchup's like a lot more our speed though. Maybe Spell Snare is good enough because it can counter Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's just a little narrow. I don't think they have that many 2s. Cling to Dust also is pretty decent against Dreadhorde Arcanist. Maybe I just don't need Search for Azcanta. If I'm bringing Narset, I need to take other things out. Maybe NATO's not that good. And I can even just, maybe this is like more like the configuration, how it should be. I mean, this does cost 4 mana to answer a Delver. That's kind of tough in this matchup. I want to just win with like Kalitas, Jace, and just Snaps and Baleful Strix. So I don't really need to do any more than that, especially considering I have Tar Pit. And I don't want Force of Will. Oh man, I just can't keep this. There's no way I'm like hitting a bunch of land drops with that hand. This hand's a lot better. They mulliganed as well. I'll keep. I think I'm just putting back Flusterstorm. I think I'll just lead on a Thoughtseize as well. Opponent kept 6. If I'm able to take away like a 1-drop threat, that'd be nice. Or an Oko maybe. Winter Orb, Delver, Pyroblast. I mean, Winter Orb is annoying. Oh, and they have Wasteland as well. I mean, I wasn't playing around Wasteland this game. I could let them Delver because I can just eliminate it. I can take either Winter Orb or Pyroblast. I mean, Winter Orb is actually pretty bad for me. Although this seems like it's going to be a low resource game anyway. What if I take Pyroblast? They might just go Wasteland. In which case I can still most likely eliminate the Delver at some point. I think I'll just strand the Pyroblast in their hand. I'm going to be able to eliminate something else anyway, I think. Even though this makes them likely to just Wasteland my Underground Sea, like, that's going to happen at some point anyway, yeah. I can't, like, really play around that at all. Okay, Cling to Dust isn't bad. Can just draw a card with that. Flooded Strand, okay. Volk, Ponder. Ponder is good. I'll just Cling to Dust the Ponder to play around future Arcanists. May draw like a 1-drop I want to cast as well. Flooded Strand. I'll Cling to Dust now in case I draw another Tar Pit. I'd rather play that. Daze. It's annoying, especially because I have more lands, but is what it is. Wasn't really expecting the opponent to daze that. That was kind of a surprising play. I think ultimately I'm fine with that. I'll play another Ponder. So next turn I can snap Thoughtseize. I mean, I like that line. I can't Pyroblast right now. If they're just Pyroblasting a Snapcaster once it's resolved, that's good for me. I can take Winter Orb or something else that they've drawn. They have a stop on my upkeep. Are they going to Surgical or something? They Ponder Shuffled. I still think I want to snap Thoughtseize, because worst case I can just take Winter Orb. We know 3 out of the 5 cards. I also have this Eliminate as backup. Another land. Another land's not ideal, but I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. Gonna need more lands eventually. Legacy is so funny because it's such like a low resource battle. Just snap. I think I want to snap Thoughtseize rather than snap Cling. I mean, that Winter Orb is gonna mess me up. Lightning Bolt, Delver, Pyroblast. They only have 2 lands. I think if I just take Winter Orb, I can just eliminate their Delver. And then they'll just play a removal spell on my snap. And then they're kind of out of gas as well. Then I also have a tar pit. I mean, they have like multiple answers to tar pit as well right now. I mean, maybe Winter Orb's not doing enough right now, and I can just take like Hydroblast. Then I'm still able to eliminate the Delver. Winter Orb's just annoying for the long game. I think if I take it, I'm just likely to win the long game, because I think my draws on average are going to be better than the opponent, and the opponent's not really like killing me right now. So they can get another Volk if they want to cast a spell here. I don't want them to be able to just free kill my tar pit here. I'm going to play land, attack, see if they kill the snap. If they do, I'm just going to kill the Delver. And I think I'm going to kill the Delver regardless. I think I'll just kill it on their upkeep though. They do have one card we don't know about, but yeah, I still think it's better to wait till upkeep in case it's like a Spell Pierce or something that they'd have to spend mana for. Alright, let's see what they reveal, I suppose. They don't reveal. I mean, they could have had a spell there and then they knew I was going to kill this because I paused for a second. So they don't want to reveal, but... Oh, is this a Veil of Summer? Feels like it is. Ugh. I mean, that was the last card in their hand. It would have veiled on our turn even if we cast it main phase. God, Veil is just so brutal for this deck. Okay, Ponder's good. This might get Pyroblasted. It doesn't. Wow, this is so good. The top of this deck is just stacked here. Okay. So, I think I draw Baleful Strix, and then Drown, then Snap. Then they'll probably just Pyroblast the Baleful Strix. Makes me feel like we have a chance to win this game. With that top of the library there. Are you going to play a removal spell? No. Going to go land, Strix. And also remember that we have this tar pit sitting here, which is a pretty big threat. Yeah, this is Pyroblast. I could have drawn Snapcaster Mage over Drown in the Loch. Brainstorm, and then they'll probably reveal Lightning Bolt. It's pretty aggressive. Force of Will. Are they going to play a fetch land? Shuffle away a Bolt? Why they need Bolt? Maybe they just didn't put Bolt back at all. I also have this Cling to Dust I can flash back. Just attack. You know they have Lightning Bolt. So I can play around another Veil by casting Drown right now. Not like too worried about another Veil, but I guess it might just be right regardless. Brainstorm into Force of Will. Force of Will, pitch Force. Okay. I'm still okay here because next turn I have Snap Eliminate or Snap Drown. And they fetch one card away that they brainstormed back. Most likely they kept Lightning Bolt, is my guess. Draw Snapcaster Mage. I'll attack. Opponent at 10. So I'm going to attack them down to 8. I'm at 8 myself. They have 1 bolt in the hand that we know about. Unless they shuffled it away, but I don't think they did. Go down to 7. I think I snap. I think I actually. Yeah, I think I snap eliminate. No, maybe I snap drown. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Snap drown. Because this way, if they draw Oko and I don't have another Snapcaster yet, and I draw a Snapcaster after, I think it's better to have the eliminate. Okay, we got that Delver off the board. I'm at 7, so I'm out of double bolt range. And I have Tarpit, Snap, Snap. First 3 lands. No Oko one time. We know one of their cards is Bolt, and looks like they probably just drew land. Ponder is pretty much perfect. Eliminate Ponder land. What would you viewers think if I draw, eliminate, and then shuffle? Another option is to draw Ponder and then shuffle. I think eliminate. They probably have Bolt. They're maybe saving it for Tar Pit. What about if I draw Ponder right now, then attack with both snaps? See what happens, and then determine if I want to cast Ponder or just draw eliminate. I like that. I'm not going to attack with Tar Pit, as tempting as that is, because I'd rather save this to make them not use Bolt. They have to Bolt a snap here, I think. They go to 4. Interesting. I think now I can just... Oh, I should... That was wrong. Now I can just get double bolted out of the game. I should not have fetched. Kalitas? Jeez. Did I play a land this turn? I don't think so. But does playing another target do anything? I don't think it does. But I can just play Kalitas next turn. Can also just draw Brainstorm right now and cast it. Opponent obviously could have double bolted in response to the Ponder if they had it. Well, okay. Alright, well there's Flusterstorm. Opponent at 4. They bolted us. I think I just draw a Flusterstorm in case they go like Ponder into Bolt or something. And I have lethal on board already. I was thinking about not casting that Brainstorm so I could draw into something like this Flusterstorm in response to a Bolt. But I just thought they would have bolted us in response to Ponder. So yeah, now if they keep a Bolt, I'm able to Flusterstorm it. And they concede. Woo! Eked out a win there against Delver. Just kind of like, I think, what we want to be playing against. Oh, man. A lot of games really come down to it like that with this deck. Like, you're not getting any free wins here. That's for sure. I want to play against something like Adnaz or, you know, like, again, Mono Red Blood Moon. Just like these linear decks where I have a straightforward game plan of what I need to do, what I want to do to execute my plan. And I'm going to keep this hand. These grindy matchups like really wear you down compared to something like a linear matchup. Like, I actually just love, like, I have a lot of fun, I think, like, when I'm playing against something like Burn, because I know exactly what they're trying to do, and I'm trying to formulate my game plan to stop them. But when it's just grind back and forth, you're trying to make perfect decisions throughout a long game, it's a lot tougher. Wow, there's just so much Misty Rainforest, blue-green, snow stuff. Once upon a time, just gonna let it resolve, obviously. Is this elves? Or is it something else? It's elves. And then they green sun for Dryad Arbor. And then I'll Thoughtseize them off of Underground Sea because that deck does not play Wasteland. Something I've wanted to try actually is just build elves with Wasteland. It seems kind of like awkward, but I think it actually might be pretty decent. Thoughtseize. Wirewood Symbiote, Elvish Visionary, so they kind of have the combo. But they have Green Sun to also find the combo. I mean, Green Sun can be anything. Next turn, they can just go Visionary plus Symbiote, which is certainly annoying. Green Sun costs 1 more mana, so that slows them down a little bit. You can just take Symbiote. Right, the other option is to take Visionary. Then if they want a Green Sun for Visionary, it costs 3 mana to do that. It's kind of an awkward play, but I think I'm going to do it. So the reason I took Visionary again there is because if they want to spend 3 mana to Green Sun for Visionary to assemble the Wirewood Symbiote plus Visionary quote-unquote combo, they can. But if I take Green Sun Zenith, then they just are able to play out Wirewood Symbiote and Visionary this turn and get the train rolling. But now it looks like they're going to just Green Sun for Visionary. And they drew a random card for turn. And they're going to draw a card off this Visionary. Now we just need to draw like a Fatal Push or something. We also may be able to snipe something for... Oh, there we go. There we go. So I can just Fatal Push the Visionary right now. It's annoying because then Wirewood saves other stuff later. But I feel like that just might be worth it. Let's just start with Ponder. Wow. These are good except that I can't cast him to Torach. Still think they're good enough though. Just draw them. And then I'll just kill this now, I think. Don't want any funny business going on. I can snap push something. I can drown in the Loch. 3 mana. Is this another Green Sun Zenith? Yep. For another Visionary, okay. They're trying to do everything they can to assemble the Wirewood Visionary combo to grind us out. But I will not let that happen. So now I can snap Thoughtseize and take Symbiote. I can also snap push the Visionary. Another option is just to play a removal spell like Eliminate on Visionary, or I can just leave up Drown in the Loch, then drown the Visionary. I think that's best. I think I'm just going to pass the turn. I don't want to Brainstorm yet. I'd rather wait to Brainstorm. I can also snap push to get Snapcaster into play and use my mana more efficiently. That might be the best line. Symbiote. Because I can kill this next turn. Alright, I'm going to snap push the Visionary again to use my mana efficiently and get Snapcaster down. I think this is a pretty reasonable matchup for us, especially we get to bring in a couple Wraths. So we've dealt with 3 Visionaries, Elvish Reclaimer. Okay, well I can kill that. Oh, I guess I can't. They play Cradle and another symbiote. Okay. It's pretty good. Him to Torach that we knew about. Cannot cast it. I think I have to Brainstorm now. Okay. So I can put back Underground Sea, maybe him to Torach. And then I can go Shuffle, Ponder, play a removal spell, / leave something up. They have a lot of mana. I don't think hemming their last card away is good. I'd rather keep killing their guys, I think. Underground Sea, let's go Ponder. Definitely don't want that. Can leave up Drown in the Loch for up to 6 mana. Although they can just make so much mana next turn. They might be able to green send for Craterhoof me. But I guess I can leave up Drown in the Loch also to counter a natural order. I think actually not attacking is good because I can block like the Wirewood / an Arbor Elf. Should play for the long game here. This Typhoon is looking pretty bad in this matchup. Glimpse of Nature. I think I'm just going to counter this. I could try to counter the first creature spell they play, but I think that's a little greedy. They obviously have a creature in hand. I wonder if they're the version with that new card. It's like a 1 green, 1/1. It can't be countered. It's Allosaurus Shepherd, I think. It can't be countered, and then green spells you control can't be countered. What is this? They're activating Reclaimer right now? For what? For Bog? Target themselves? Okay, I was not expecting that out of Elves. So they get to draw a card, or maybe more. Oh, they get to even Wirewood Symbiote back Elves and draw a bunch of cards. Wow. I just got like totally owned there. Was not expecting the Bajuka Bog. That makes sense though, because they have Reclaimers. Natural Order Craterhoof. Oh, just Reclaimer again. But man, that was brutal. This card has just been terrible. I haven't ever had it in like the old versions of the deck, and I just don't think I want it. I think it's just worse than a lot of other things I could have. I think I'm down to get rid of a Wirewood here, sure. I gotta grind through everything they have, so might as well start somewhere. Don't have any Wrath's Mane, which also potentially I should have. I kind of want to just leave up NATO for 2 to eat something. Then I can untap and play Jace. It's a line. Don't know if they have any other gas to reclaim for. Don't think they would have the Merit Large combo in their deck. Merit Liege, Merit Large? I don't know what it is. This looks like a Craterhoof. Just hard cast Craterhoof. Alright, well. Did I put back Forcible on top? I could have drawn it. I'm just not playing well. Just cycle for 2. Could even cycle for 0. That way if I draw a Counterspell, could have even not tapped my lands. Let's see. Cycling for 2 better though? Probably not. I mean, even if I drew that Force of Will and had to pitch Jace, I'm still pretty far behind at that point. That Bajuka Bog play just really got me. Okay. Opponent got us there. With the Bajuka Bog play, I just really haven't seen that main deck in any lists. I think I like just bringing in all the removal. Just being like a removal deck. Don't think I need Cling. Don't think NATO is very good. Force of Will is actually okay. Jace is pretty bad. It's just hard to protect it. Maybe I just don't want it at all. Search is a little bit slow as well. Some people like Flusterstorm, but I actually don't like it in this matchup. Alright, let's try it like this. Just try to control the game. Either win with Baleful Strix, Coetus, Snapcaster Mage, Tarpit. Don't think Jace is where I want to be. Sands is really bad. Potentially I should have sideboarded out Spell Snare as well. They can Green Sun for 1. They can Elvish Visionary. They mulligan to 6. I think I'm going to lead Tarpit just to get it out of the way. They mulligan to 5. And are we just going to get crushed by a mulligan to 5? We'll see. Tarpit go. Land 1-drop. Do I leave up Spell Snare for a potential 2-drop? Green Sun for 1. I feel like I just jam Search for Azcanta. Get that down. Oh, there's Deluge. I'm definitely jamming Search. Oh. I was worried I misclicked and would have passed the turn there without getting to play my Search. Wow, Deluge is just so good here. Now, best case for me is they deploy like several 1 toughness guys. Here's one. Another one? Virtual? Wirewood Symbiote? Just to let me play a Deluge here. I mean, I think I can play one regardless, yeah. I can just Deluge for 2 now and just wreck their day, put them down to 1 mana, and then I still have like Snap Deluge later. I have Search for Azcanta going. I'll put that into the graveyard, yes. Thoughtseize is good, but again, I think I'd rather just Deluge and put them down to 1 mana. I'm not going to play around any like chokes or anything weird. I don't even think that deck has Veil of Summer often. It's Deluge for 2. Earlier versions of this deck, I had like 2 copies of Deluge or even 3, or even some like not suffocating fumes. It's like 3 mana, -2/-2 to all creatures, but if anything would die, exile it instead. I forget the name of it. But I'm trying the Damnation this time just for fun. Put Ponder in your graveyard? No, I'll draw Ponder. Eliminate Fatal Push. Those seem good to me. Wait, can I undo? I don't think I can. I should have put Flooded Strand second so I could mill it. But I messed up. I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize. Leave up like Eliminate and Spell Snare. Once upon a time, Nat Order, Glimpse, Green Sun Zenith. I think I just take Zenith. They have to like cast everything else, and they're pretty far from doing anything. The problem is I can't really punish them for not having anything going on here. Because my deck is so slow. Wow, they drew Cradle. That's funny. Now I'm going to not mill this, unfortunately. Because if they draw a creature, I'm just going to want to kill it. I can Snapcaster Ponder here though, which I'm gonna do. Gets the Snapcaster down, our win con. Could Thoughtseize as well, but I don't even think I need to. I don't think I care about any of their cards. Ponder. Another Snap. Are these good? They're not bad. Can Snap Thoughtseize something. I can mill the Flooded Strand. Alright, let's do it. Pass. Okay, so they can play Once Upon a Time. I can Spell Snare that if I want. I'll put this in the graveyard. Draw the Edict. Knew about that. Now I think I just Snap Thoughtseize. Probably take the natural order just to be safe. And then I can Spell Snare the Once Upon a Time. And then this puts like a pretty real clock on the opponent as well. Just having some removal spells back, I feel like should be enough. Take the Nat order. They're surely going to Once Upon a Time at end of turn here. I'll Spell Snare it. The Spell Snare should potentially not be in the deck as well, especially when I'm on the draw. I guess I can counter a Visionary or Once Upon a Time if it gets cast though. So we know about Glimpse in their hand and a random card. Flooded Strand can go to the yard. I think I'll just activate Tar Pit now. Just don't want to give them infinite time. Hit for 7, down to 10. Again, I don't have interaction up right now, but I can just untap and play removal spells. Glimpse, 1-drop, maybe another 1-drop. Then I can just kill their guys. Alright, they can get a Dryad Arbor with that. Him to Torach. I'll put that into the graveyard, sure. Flip Search. I can just kill this. I think then I attack for 4. I'm not going to attack with Tar Pit next turn because I might have lethal anyway, and if they want to Dryad Arbor, try to block a Snap, that's fine. And I can just leave up removal spells here. Reclaimer is totally fine. I'll just show them Edict. I don't even really care, I don't think. And then I'll just attack with Tar Pit in both snaps. Yeah, got him. Alright, let's go game 3. Hey, bud. Again, I think I want Force of Will. Typhoon does seem a little bit slow. Man, Damnation, 4 mana. That's a lot of mana. Should probably just be the second Deluge. It's just so much better in these type of matchups. Spell Snare is pretty bad. I think I'll just keep it though. If I am able to get a 2-drop with it, it just feels so good. Right, on the draw against Elves. Gonna keep. Opponent kept 7 as well. Not gonna force anything on turn 1, I don't believe. Thoughtseize? Why? They should not bring in Thoughteize in this matchup. Like, all my cards are pretty equal, just like value generating cards. A lot of removal spells and 2-for-1s. Like Baleful Strix 2-for-1, him 2-for-1, interaction, removal spell, and interaction. It's just like, it doesn't matter what they take. Like, I still am going to have plays. I'm not a combo deck. I just don't think they should have Thoughtseize in this matchup. Like 100%, they should not have Thoughtseize. I'm the one who should have Thoughtseize. I'm trying to break up their game plan. Cabal Pit. What is this? Threshold gives something -2/-2. It's just a reclaimer target. So if I just take Glimpse, just leave them with 2 creatures, they just don't really do anything, especially through an Edict. So just take Glimpse. It's a pretty easy Glimpse. And they may play both their 1-drops. Then I'm not able to kill the one I want to. But that's okay. They may get Dryad Arbor here as well. Protect the Reclaimer. That'd be fine. I didn't want to Force of Will there. Wow, they don't get Dryad Arbor. Interesting. So they have Cabal Pit and a card they just drew for turn. I think I want to just Diabolic Edict right now. Then leave up Force of Will for anything that goes like terribly wrong. And then plan on not forcing unless I like absolutely have to. The reason I have Diabolic Edict in the deck, it's like the worst removal spell we have, but I just want every removal spell possible to be like in our 60 in the main. Or I guess not the main, but I guess I want everything to be in their post side. So I can force this. What is this going to be? Just a Visionary? Or Scavenging Ooze, maybe? It's probably going to be Scavenging Ooze. I mean, that's going to wreck me. Reclaimer is not doing as much. I really did not want to do this, but I think it's right. They have 1 card left. It's likely nothing. So it gets +2/+2 if there's 3 or more land cards in their graveyard. Just play Flooded Strand and pass. Obviously drawing land there was terrible. But now I can draw Damnation. Wirewood, okay. Attack for 1. No attack. They're going to leave this up to make it a... Oh, Kalitas. Let's go, Kalitas. Just going to play all my non-basics, whatever. Now let's draw some removal spells, shall we? Kalitas, let's go. Ponder, Brainstorm. What are they going to get? Cavern? Gaia's Cradle? Yeah, that makes sense. So they can Nat order. If they have Progenitus in their deck, they could Nat order Progenitus. Looks like they don't. Kalitas just holding it down. Baleful Strix, great draw. Baleful Strix, Ponder, Fatal Push. Deluge. Okay. I'm going to Deluge for 1 right now. Just get these out of here. Cut them off mana. Make a couple zombies. I don't want to Deluge for 4 because I obviously don't want to lose my Kalitas. Sucks I have to kill my Baleful Strix, but I think it's worth. I can attack. I just don't want any funny business to go on. I don't think Gaming 2 is necessarily that relevant. They get Dryad Arbor. Sure. They play another Dryad Arbor. Yeah, if they draw a natural order, they can kill us. But I can also make a big Kalitas. 4, 5, 6 mana. So this puts 2+1/+1 counters on it, right? So I can play land and then attack with all. And if they block Kalitas, I can just let it happen. Whatever zombie they block, I can sack for Kalitas. I think that's better because I'm going to gain a bunch of life. And if they don't block, then they have to block next turn or they take lethal. So I'm going to plan on just sacking both these zombies here and then hoping the opponent doesn't top deck on the next turn. Then I should have it. Kalitas just really good. Also drawing Baleful Strix into Deluge was really good, but you know. Don't want to be F6. So I'll just sack this. They can make another Dryad Arbor. Just lagging here. Sack a vampire or zombie. Do it again. Then this way, again, they have to chump next turn. Sacrifice another vampire or zombie. And then I also get to gain 7. And then if they chump next turn, they'll lose one of their creatures. I get to make another 2/2. What is this? Oh, just sack for another Dryad Arbor? How many of those do they have? Maybe just, oh, they're just thinning. So on upkeep, they'll sack Windswept Heath. They don't want to draw land for turn because they need to draw something to get out of this, which they can do. I mean, if they draw Natural Order, I lose, I think. Maybe not, even at this point. Heritage Druid. Okay. Do have a 7/8 lifelink out. Attack for 1. You got it. They have 1 card in hand. Not sure what it is. Maybe another Cradle. Fatal Push. Suppose I just Fatal Push for Claimer right now. Just get that out of there. Then they have to chump with Dryad Arbor most likely. I don't think they can have another Dryad Arbor, can they? That's a lot of Dryad Arbors. Just another fetch to thin. Attack, they have to chump, then I make another zombie, and then these ones I don't have to start sacking yet because I already have a lethal Kalitas. I could to gain more life, to maybe make me even less dead to something like a Craterhoof. Let's think about this. If they, so they're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, and if they sack a Dryad for Craterhoof, I'm still super alive, so I think I'm fine. And I have 2 zombies back. You good? And we got him. All right, from 0-2 to 2-2. I'm going to queue up and I'm going to take like a 30-second break. Hopefully I'll be back before we find an opponent. Give me 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Missed the first cue. Back for round 5. We're against Soul E22558. And gonna snap keep this hand. They mulligan to 6, they mulligan to 5. Let's see if we're up against like an Uro Grindfest again or something different. Highland Ponder. We've seen that so much. I would just prefer not a Grindfest, but it looks like that's likely what it's going to be. Just going to get Tar Pit down. You can Brainstorm some of these lands away whenever. Can also just play Search for Azcanta next turn. Wow, Ancient Tomb. Show and Tell. Am I just dead? Are they just gonna put like a Gristlebrand into play? Yep. I think I'm just dead to that, right? Fatal Push, not quite gonna do it. I can't, like, I mean, I guess I could find a Baleful Strix, but they're just gonna get to draw 7. I can see more of like what the opponent's on. I think I'd rather just not show them anything. Even if I draw Baleful Strix, I mean, I just don't think I'm winning against draw 7 plus like another attack. Alright. Mulligan to 5 and they just put a Gristlebrand in. I could have tried to see more cards to see if they were gonna like be mono blue, blue green, or blue red, or whatever, but I think mostly it doesn't matter. I'm gonna sideboard similarly. Surgical is actually interesting. I think actually I do want it. I can break up the combo. Fatal Push is interesting. It might be decent, but I don't think I want it. Surgical, like, generally, you don't really want it against Show and Tell because you have to, like, really set it up. Either, like, counter their Show and Tell or discard it with a Thoughtseize. But if you're able to do that and you take either Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, like, their key combo pieces, I can really, really slow them down, which is where I want to be in this matchup. Don't think Typhoon's doing anything. I don't think Eliminate and Push are really that good, even if they have like Icefang Coddle. Maybe I want Cling to Dust also. Is there anything else I don't want? I mean, Baleful Strix is okay. Search for Azcanta is actually pretty good. Spell Snare might not be good. They might not really have many targets for it. They might just have mostly 1-drops, and then like key combo pieces like Show and Tell, Through the Breach, and that sort of thing. Should be trying to accelerate those out. Let's try it like this. Cling to Dust might also be dead, but can at least draw a card and it can maybe break something up. I don't know. Alright, I mean, I'm going to keep this. So I have a T2 him plus surgical. It's not like ideal, but I think that's pretty reasonable against a combo matchup. Especially they're on the mulligan, that's good for us. But as shown, they just mulligan to 5 and just crushed us, so we'll see if they do that again. They mulligan to 6. Let's see if they turn 1 show and tell us. Looks like probably not. Preordain. Okay. Gonna just go for Swamp him, I think. Could also just go for Flooded Strand, Underground Sea him. Lotus Petal. They don't play anything that's good for me that they played that, because now I'm likely to hit other combo pieces I actually care about with him. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Swamp him here. Spell Pierce. Flusterstorm. We're down to 1 mana. I could Surgical to hope to hit something in hand, but I don't think that's really where I want to be. I want to try to draw into like another Hymn or Thoughtseize and then Surgical. So again, I'm hoping to show you how to play with Surgical. You generally don't want to fire it off and hope to hit like a card in their hand. Like, just be a little more patient. I can Ponder, I can hit Thoughtseize, I can hit Hymn. There's a lot I can do here. I mean, I might just get Show and Tell. Sucks. Likely nothing I can do again. Emrakul. Okay, well I can find Edict now. But I can't even find Jace. Baleful Strix. That doesn't actually work because this is Annihilator 6. I'm just lagging like crazy. Oops. Undo. So I can fetch first. I think that increases my chances to find Edict. Because if I don't find Edict, I lose. Thoughtseize Cling to Dust. Thoughtseize would have been good. And looks like we missed. Alright, well, we got by Show and Tell. They had turn 2 Show and Tell both times. GG's. 2 and 3. Show and Tell was actually like a pretty close matchup. I always like played this deck, and I was constantly getting paired against JPA 93, and we split pretty evenly, wins and losses. Anyways, this is the deck. This has been a fun recording. This is youtube.com/snapbolt and twitch.tv/snapboltgames. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the content, enjoyed the deck, and until next time, thank you so much.